This episode of the Nerd Corporation podcast may contain spoilers and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the Nerd Corporation.
What up, everybody? It's Thursday, and you know what that means.
We've all officially submitted our applications for the American Ninja Warrior.
My leotard comes in on Tuesday.
Mine is pink.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to you about that. I don't think I can.
Well, all right. I'll win by default. I don't give a fuck.
No, it's podcast day.
Oh.
Well, that too.
Got him.
Hella got him.
Got his ass.
Welcome to episode 133. For your consideration, the Iron Man. We are going to be talking about the very first Iron Man movie, continuing Colin Angela's MCU-cation. But first, let's get on with the nerd news. So, we're gonna do some wrestling news here, but want to say first and foremost, fucking cool. CM Punk to AEW confirmed.
Yes, literally, actually confirmed.
Yeah.
We're not memeing it. It's happening.
We're not memeing here.
It's not just the crowd chanting CM Punk every chance they get.
Yeah.
And him not coming out. He actually came out.
Yeah, he came out and he was.
He heard a noise.
Yeah, and so he came
out.
He was washing a dish.
He was washing a dish.
Yeah. But he came out at the very beginning of AEW's Friday Night Rampage, and boy, that pop was ridiculous. Like, I don't think I've heard a louder pop since, I think, I'm going back. I mean, like 2002 Triple H return.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think that's how big that pop was.
You hear the opening guitar riff for Cult of Personality.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, oh, he's using, like, I was kind of hoping he would, like, come out to his old Killswitch song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just to kind of go with the theme of going back into the vault. But
Which Killswitch song?
This Fire Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy how he got to keep that, though. Like, he got to keep that. He got to keep the name CM Punk. Like, usually WWE keeps that on a super tight leash. But,
Well, I mean, it's not WWE, so.
yeah, it's true. But, you know, cool. I'm excited to... this will actually get me back into watching AEW, I think.
Yeah.
In WWE news, we just had SummerSlam, and boy, what a SummerSlam it was.
Boy, howdy.
Like, just in terms of good/bad, that whole thing was a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah.
It really was. It didn't, I mean, at least from what I saw when I came over, it didn't have any crazy start-offs, but then right as we're about to watch Bianca Belair wrestle Carmella,
Because Sasha couldn't wrestle.
we hear, whoa, and the fucking man comes out, and
Yeah.
she's back.
Becky Lynch has returned.
And then they immediately proceeded to turn it into garbage.
Yeah, they really did. Because
Like,
she
that
came,
was a huge pop, too.
Yeah.
Like, a huge pop.
Yeah, oh yeah. She came out, she beat up Carmella and just went up to Bianca Belair and was like, how about you and I go at it? And if you think about it, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, that's a fucking AAA match.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so like, oh, cool, here, let me shake your hand, elbow, manhandle slam, and it's over.
That was it.
No
Boom.
way.
Yeah, bro. Just
They
completely...
did a squash.
Yeah. Delegitimized Bianca's
Yeah,
entire title
like,
run.
Delegitimized Bianca, and like Wrestle Talk was saying, like you're really gonna bring back Becky and have her be a baby face and then just waste it like that.
Yeah.
Like, you could have had an amazing match,
Exactly.
a solid match, and then you just kind of blow it and make like, and like he said, I mean, I watched and saw this myself, but like, so many people in the audience just sitting there shaking their head side to side like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, on the writing team for WWE, they have, like, what is it? Do they have a bunch of dummies and then they have, like, one smart guy that's, like, constantly putting out good ideas, but he's just surrounded by a bunch of dumbasses? Or do you think it's just like one guy who's just right like twice a day, like a broken
Well,
clock?
I think it's kind of the first thing you were saying, but in reverse. I bet I'll give the writers more credit than I've seen, but I think that the writers are fine. They're probably decent. They probably know what they're doing, but their ideas are getting wadded up and thrown in the wastebasket by Vince.
You know what it reminds me of is it reminds me of that meme where everyone's at the board meeting and they all make a suggestion and the one guy is like casually sitting back. He's like, maybe we should do this. And then the next panel, he's like thrown out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, no, I'm sure it's a bunch of people having good ideas and none of them are being taken because Vince doesn't want to.
Yep. Yeah. All but one title changed in the whole thing.
Yeah. Yep.
The Usos retained their tag team championships.
Which was at least a decent match.
Yeah. And then Nikki ASH lost her title to Charlotte.
God damn it.
Garbage!
Charlotte won something again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
figure.
two titles. Two titles were
good.
retained.
Oh,
Two
that's
titles
right.
were retained. Damian Priest won the U.S. title, that was a good match.
That was a good match, and I was really satisfied with that result, too.
That's the one I stepped outside for.
Mhm.
But I did come back when you guys said that he won, so.
Oh, and on the pre-show, Big E won back his Money in the Bank that
Yes.
he didn't ever actually lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that works,
Yeah.
but like it got stolen, and then he had to, for some reason, win it back.
Yeah.
How did it get stolen?
Like, Baron Corbin apparently just went yoink and stole it.
Oh.
Like, he didn't earn it in any legitimate way. It wasn't like a, hey, let's have a match, and if I win, I get your Money in the Bank. Nothing.
He just stole it.
Stole it, and then Biggie, for some reason, had to earn it back. I don't understand.
Like,
He
Baron,
lost
Baron. You know that there's not actual money in there.
Especially with his gimmick right
Yeah,
now.
I
Oh
love
my
it,
god,
though.
would it be... This would be the most amazing thing for him to come out and say, I got kids. I would love that so fucking much.
I loved it when I think he came out and he was asking, was it Roman Reigns? He was like asking him for money.
See, I haven't been
And
paying enough attention. I haven't been
There
watching
was
all the episodes.
there was a promo where he came out and I think he was asking Roman Reigns for money, and it was either him or John Cena, and John Cena's like, whoever it was, like threw some money at him or whatever. He's like, here's $100, and he's like, that's it. And he's like, well, how much do you need, man? And he looks up and he's like, $10,000.
What the fuck?
Where did you get that figure?
He can't earn that amount working at Olive Garden.
No.
I mean, not just as a manager, he's got to be like a branch, like
He's got to be like a general manager.
yeah, a general
He has to
manager.
be the Burger King.
Yeah, general manager or own a franchise, his own building. I don't know.
Who else? We also had RK Bro become the new tag team champions, dude.
So happy about that.
Super excited.
So this is RKO and
Yeah,
Matt Riddle.
Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, which is great. I mean, like, to me, that's probably one of my favorite kind of comedic pairings since Team Hell No.
I agree.
I like it a lot.
They have a really good chemistry in it.
They do.
And it's kind of the same personalities, like the
totally.
hippy dippy, cool with everything, just kind of like bro-y guy that was Daniel Bryan at the time.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he was a lot more subtle with it, obviously,
right.
than Matt Riddle, but
Then the stoic, like established dude
Yeah.
in Randy Orton.
you let go of all these killer fucking stars, but you still have Corbin.
Yep.
you know,
You still are using you're still finding gold
well, here's
in
the
that
thing.
mine.
wait till the end
Here's
of the-
the thing. Baron Corbin is supposedly like one of the best and safest workers, like in the bit. Like everybody likes Baron Corbin. Why they're treating him like such shit, I don't know. But like,
It's the same reason The Miz is still around.
yeah.
I mean, I like The Miz. I think he's
Just
talented.
easy to work with.
Yeah, he's just one of the... He hardly ever gets injured. He hardly ever injures anybody.
Yeah, he hardly
does
makes any
his job.
mistakes.
He doesn't make any mistakes.
Damn.
Just goes to work, does his job.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns retained his title against John Cena.
Of course.
Which, man, like, they added a little bit of, like, toward the end it got dramatic and everything, but, like, I mean, that was up until the last, 5 minutes or so. It was a pretty plodding, boring match, and then to have it end the way it did was kind of a little bit of a letdown. Not as much of a letdown as, the Becky match, but I don't know.
And then
I had the favorite part of that match was when he did the AA off the rope, and Roman Reigns still kicked out.
Yeah, that was
they were just kicking out at after every possible huge.
Well,
move.
yeah, once it got going, it really got going.
Yeah.
God, it took forever.
Oh, and Bobby Lashley retained against Goldberg. That was another thing.
So they're still
Vice.
masquerading fucking Goldberg.
However, after that match ended, we had a little bit of a something.
Before that, Goldberg's son actually came out and took a bump from Bobby Lashley, and this kid's like 15.
I mean, That's
fucking awesome.
Well, it wasn't like an impressive bump.
No, he got hurt locked, and then he like threw him on the.
Yeah, he just basically dropped him, and that like he just So it wasn't like anything major, but I mean he is a young kid.
That kid went home and he's like, I'm gonna be a WWE superstar.
Then though,
gonna get so much pussy.
The main event.
But then yes.
And so we get to the main event.
After the match ends, you just hear boom, ba-da-dum, and it's Brock's music.
Oh God.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar's music drops.
Oh God.
He's in full Viking beard top knot.
He comes outside. Yeah, he has a top knot.
No.
He has a fucking top knot.
No, stop it.
I
don't want to hear any more.
The best part about it though is that
get a picture. Show Cole a picture of this bitch.
Did you all groan when you heard?
I kind of just went, what?
Yeah,
because he's been out for God knows how long. Yeah. But the best part about it is that
there's no pop on.
You can't see the top.
No.
Here, let me look at it again.
No.
Oh, God.
He does
no, he came out. He came out after the Roman Reigns, not Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, the best part was that since Paul Heyman's with Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman like got the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
And he was like,
well, and at first he was like, "Oh, here's the guy I'm representing now, and here's the guy I was representing. I'm torn."
But if you're here, then what?
It's been years, WWE. Stop it. Fucking stop it. I'm not even that big of a fan, but I'm fucking offended. Stop. Stop it.
Well, but here's the thing, though. With Roman Reigns, they've had everyone in the business lose to him. Now they've even had John Cena look like a chump to him. There's nowhere else to go. There is nowhere else to go.
He's the king.
He's their Goku.
He's the king of WWE.
2 words.
He is the Goku. He's
Gage Goldberg.
No, but yeah, like you can't go anywhere else.
He's the Naruto. He's the Luffy. He's the top.
I honestly I'm curious to see what they do with him. If they're just gonna have him fucking dominate everybody, or if they're just gonna have him like I don't know. I'm curious. I'm not like holding my breath because I'm probably gonna hate him again. But
I'm so fucking.
Best match of the night though had to have been Edge versus.
Oh my God!
So.
What was the matchup?
It was just Seth versus
Seth Rollins and Edge.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that they've been doing leading up to this, which they actually replayed a little bit before the match. So way back.
Yeah.
Like
Edge
in the 90s.
Back in the 90s. Edge was with a group called The Brood.
Oh.
Okay. And so they were like this really gothy sort of.
They were vampires.
Yeah, they were vampires.
I love that.
Like,
that is awesome.
It was Edge and Christian together as a tag team, and they were led by this vampire named Gangrel.
Yeah, that was his name. That was really his name.
They would come up from the floor in this like square of fire, and
fuck
Gangrel had a goblet of blood.
Yes.
And he had vampire teeth. He'd walk up, go up to the corner of the ring, drink the blood, and spit it out into the audience.
Yeah, no, it's the 90s, man. Like
So this is
I will
like
ask you
Attitude
to
Era
fuck off.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Gay vampires.
Oh,
So,
and before you go with that, just to touch on that, is one of their gimmicks was somebody would be cutting a promo, lights would turn off, lights would come back on and the person in the ring would be covered in blood. And that's what Edge did to Seth Rollins.
That's sick as fuck.
Yeah, so like leading up to this, and again, like I haven't been watching the last few weeks of Raw or SmackDown, and so what they did is they actually replayed a bit of it before the match started last night.
Uh-huh.
And so in the last couple of weeks, they've been doing callbacks to the Brood stuff. So they dumped blood all over Seth Rollins and all that kind of thing. So then we get Edge coming out, right? So Seth Rollins is already in the ring.
Dark red lights.
Dark red lights. Did they do fire? They did some pyro, and Edge comes up out of the floor.
Playing the old Brood music.
Oh yeah, with the old Brood music and everything. It was such a cool callback.
We were screaming.
Dude, I got out of where I was sitting, and I was like, "What in the fuck?"
Like they really, really hit nostalgia chords.
I paced
hard,
in the kitchen for a minute,
and they did it really well.
Yeah.
I mean, it made up for so much of the other bullshit. Not the Becky thing. There is no making up for that. But like, they made up for so much of the other bullshit. Just wild, with those wonderful nostalgic notes that they hit.
Yeah. Honestly, this is the best pay-per-view I've seen in a very long time.
It was super fan servicey. Like everything about it was super fan servicey.
I don't know if I agree with Wrestle Talk about it being a 2 out of 5, but it was definitely like a 3 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, and sorry, I totally got mixed up with the Brock Lesnar reveal, but so that kind of ruined it for you, Cole. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I got the full effect.
Well, I thought the same thing, and then when I was talking about Brock and Paul Heyman, I was like, wait Paul Heyman's with Roman Reigns.
Sense.
Put 2 and 2 together. Wait a minute. Wrong match.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was overall, I mean, I'd probably agree with you. It was good. Not like there were enough issues with it that I wouldn't say it was great. But like, you can easily compartmentalize all of the components of it and say, this was fucking awesome, this was dumb as shit. But it still overall was pretty decent if you put it all together.
Absolutely. But that was SummerSlam, and it was great. I thought it was fine. It did the nostalgia moments for me are probably what did it.
Me too. They were so good.
Just the whole and I still can't get over John Cena's shirt.
I know,
dude.
It
The
was so good.
Fucking shirt.
So it was Mario 3 inspired shirt.
Okay.
And so it's him flying, right? But instead of a tail, it's his workout towel sticking out of his pocket. It's actually rad as fuck, dude. I love it. I want this shirt. It's so cool.
Leave Mario 3 alone.
Just look at it.
Look at it.
That is pretty sick.
Right?
Dude, and on the back,
I'd fucking do that.
And on the back, it had all 16 of his titles, like in 8-bit.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, if I was...
Still can't find it on the shop, though.
Aw, man.
If I was mega famous like that, I 100% would do that to Super Mario.
And speaking of nostalgia, we had Xavier Woods coming out dressed up like Scott Hall.
Yeah, he had the whole Razor Ramon thing going.
That was really cool. I liked that.
That was awesome.
Side note, a bunch of like knockoff websites, the websites that have like, so they've made the logo tee. So I might just grab one off of that.
Might as well.
Like Redbubble or something.
Which one got this one?
So SummerSlam was a success.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I'd say it was.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, I mean there was
needed
more.
That.
There was more good than bad for sure.
We really did.
Y'all needed that W.
For real.
Yeah, we sure needed that.
Like it was definitely. It's been quite the ride, the bumpy ride this year.
Well, I mean, even with COVID and everything with last year,
we're taking more bumps than the wrestlers.
I mean, you really are though. Like that's the sad thing about it all.
Well, and AEW is reaping the benefits.
Bro.
Dude, if Bray Wyatt doesn't go to AEW...
Oh, he will.
Because the only thing I'm worried about is that he's not out because he wanted out or the WWE wanted him out. Yeah. I'm worried that he's out because he's got some sort of really long-standing injury or maybe his career's over.
Let's hope not.
You know?
Let's hope not.
That's what I'm worried about. But otherwise, I can't imagine him not going to AEW.
He's the most famous out of all 3 rotundas. Even IRS, dude. Like,
Fucking IRS, dude.
Yeah, you know, because IRS is his dad. So
What?
yeah,
I did not know
No,
that.
shut up.
yeah, IRS is his dad.
IRS is Bray Wyatt's dad?
Yeah,
Get the fuck out of here.
yeah.
I had no-
Him and Bo Dallas are IRS's kid.
I feel like you probably told me that once, and I just completely forgot.
Yeah, so out of all the rotunda men that
Yeah.
have wrestled in the WWE, Bray Wyatt's like the
Oh, yeah.
easily
Damn.
the most famous.
Huh.
Yep.
Like I know this is something that probably no one will ever know. God, I'm so curious as to what happened. Like, you're setting this guy up to be the next Undertaker, and then he's just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happened?
Yeah,
I am
don't know.
so insanely curious.
I don't get it, but
anyway.
we'll figure. It'll come out every once in a while.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
kinda-
a version of it will come out.
Yeah. So that does it for our SummerSlam news.
We watched the newest Ava movie this last week, the end of the series.
And
I really love it. For a multitude of reasons, but so this is kind of a weird movie. So Evangelion came out, you know, it was a very, very popular anime, and it could not keep up, basically. And Anno, you know, we did a whole episode about this, so to go more in depth, if you want to, about it, go listen to that episode. But
fly me to the moon.
yeah, Fly Me to the Moon. Basically what happened is that they just like ran out of funds, and they couldn't really make the ending that they wanted to make.
Right.
But still ended up doing something that Anno wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't good enough, and people really fucking hated it, and went as far as to like vandalize the hell out of the studio, like the actual studio in Japan.
Wow.
Was this one where there were death threats? Too?
Yes, yes. Uh-huh. And so Anno made like my favorite animated thing ever, which is End of Evangelion, and it's fucking really, really dark and not good spirited at all. Like,
It's beautiful though.
it's fucking it's amazing, but it's like it's the beauty of like rebirth at death and all this shit. Like,
well, and
it's,
like in my mind, that's like the true ending too.
oh yeah, End of Evangelion is like an ending for me too. Like, it's still my favorite piece of Ava like media as a whole. But this new movie is really fucking good because I feel like it takes the last 20 to 30 years of this journey that we've been on with Evangelion and just puts like a nice, the word that comes to mind immediately is mature. Like, Anno's been very vocal about how he battles depression. That's
Right.
what Evangelion's like all fucking about, you know. But the message got twisted, you know, with with how much they advertise Evangelion in Japan and everything, and it just kind of became something that he never wanted it to be. For example, the you know, Evangelion's about, you know, not losing touch with reality and like going out and continuing your lives and not
Right.
building up the wall. You know, this is like a common piece of, you know, storytelling that we've seen in everything. Like Pink Floyd did it with The Wall and all kinds of different stuff, right? But Anno is a lot older now. He's got a lot of other projects underneath his belt. And I just feel like the first half of this movie is like nothing but like fan service mixed up with like, hey, these are what these characters are really actually going through. And I feel like it's done in such a grounded and mature way that it just feels good.
So do they just sort of approach it a little bit more directly so like you can't mistake what it is that they're going through?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The cryptic shit is not really... It's still here in this movie because, like, this is the end of Evangelion. Of, like, so they went... Anno wasn't really happy with how it ended with Evangelion, so he started doing these rebuild movies.
Which are essentially exactly like the anime up until the second.
The ending of the second.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's more like midway through the second
Yeah,
movie.
it's like a timeline split almost.
Oh,
like it
okay.
it diverts into its own.
It's really deep and complex, and you can it goes as deep as you fucking want it.
Right.
But the whole point that Anno was trying to get out, like the messaging that he was trying to do with Evangelion, I feel like is like crystal clear with this movie. Like, it has like almost identical shots from End of Evangelion in it.
Oh.
Like from like the fourth impact and all that shit. Like it's like there's
They
even
call
like
it-
the Ray head and everything.
They call it the near third yeah. The
So
near
that's the thing that happens at the end of the second movie is the near third impact.
Oh.
Yeah, when he saves Ray. Yeah. It's just really good. I actually cried during the movie because I was like, this just feels fucking good to like
Yeah.
finally see these characters be happy.
and it's definitely the good ending.
It's where End of Evangelion is this super dark,
where like everyone dies.
pessimistic
Mhm.
vision of the future. Evangelion, what is it? It's such a stupid fucking name. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, Thrice Upon a Time.
Yeah, it's a really stupid game.
Wow.
Well, and
I like the Thrice Upon a Time.
well,
yes.
and all of the other movies, they do something with like I don't want to say brackets. What's the
Parentheses.
with
Yeah.
parentheses, and so like one of them is called "You Are Not Alone," and then another one is like "You Cannot,
You cannot
redo.
redo.
But they didn't do
Right.
this for this title, and I'm like, that's like really.
But I still feel like it's just another piece of like, hey, we're maturing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. The ending of this movie is fucking awesome, and
It's still
which is
definitely-
hilarious because it's the same ending from the manga, which all like there's like this huge debate in the Eva fandom if whether or not the manga is canon or not, and it is because Anno worked with Sadamoto for the art.
Well, I was like, wouldn't that be the thing that is canon?
Yeah.
Like, that's-
Well, so the anime wasn't based on the manga though. The manga
Oh.
was based on the anime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
But like
Yeah, they
it
did
took
it backwards.
liberties.
Interesting.
It took some liberties on terms of like what happens.
Yeah.
Like the ending of the manga is basically the end of Evangelion, but with like a completely different like end scene.
It
Gotcha.
definitely leaves a lot to be interpreted still, just like End of Eva and the end of the anime. But it was definitely the good.
Really, the only disappointing thing about it was the
I didn't say it was disappointing. I just said it left a lot to be interpreted.
no. This is like a personal opinion of mine. Like the only thing that was disappointing for me is that we didn't really get anything in terms of like the mass produced Evas with the wings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like-
they did
It's just
Instead
an
of, like,
Evangelion, but it's like got a skull face on it, and I'm
skull.
like, that's cool, but like that's the mass-produced Evas are the white ones
with the wings.
with the wings in End of Evangelions, the ones that spoiler alert for a 30-year-old manga kills Asuka. Like that shit is fucking. That's such a cool
Wait, what?
design.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't really, kill, but. Yeah, it just felt good, man. Like, it was such a... And we had it dubbed, too, which is a really weird surprise.
Well, and what's interesting is they kept the original cast, but they didn't use Funimation as the studio to dub it.
Yeah.
So there was no voice direction whatsoever. It
Oh,
was
damn.
awful.
Dude,
it was
the
so
dub,
bad.
The
Damn.
dub for this movie is fucking atrocious.
Ugh.
Yeah,
I want to
it's-
watch it again with
It's
sub.
still all of the like voices that you're used to, but they like do not know
They
what they're
phone it
doing.
in
Yeah,
hard.
Like
it's
there's no cohesion in terms of
none
like,
whatsoever.
It's pretty
in my
bad, dude.
opinion. Yeah. But
It's pretty bad.
But speaking of End of Eva, we got some copyright news on the Blu-ray. Release.
So I'm actually really bummed about this because
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting it, but I saw that fucking price and I was like, for what?
Yeah.
For what? I have every single thing of Evangelion right there in those two things. I paid $100 for
and
those.
it comes with Fly Me to the Moon.
Like that is 100% the genuine article right there.
Right.
And I paid $100 for it. Illegally, I will admit that. But bro,
Allegedly.
$300 fucking. And the whole thing, I'm thinking to myself, that really sucks because there's artwork in this package that I have not seen that I do not own.
Yeah.
And that is hurting my fucking soul to know that that's just not something I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
Like it's got a satchel paperweight in there, which
Yeah.
is so fucking cool, and like the nagging fan of me to own everything Evangelion is just screaming at me right now, but I can't justify that fucking price, dude.
Especially if Fly Me to the Moon isn't on there.
Well, and that's a staple in the series.
Yeah.
Like
It's
that's
like the whole fucking point, dude.
well, and like not
I mean,
not only is it like so beloved and like catchy and just like well known, it also helps interpret Rey and who she is as a
Yeah.
person.
honestly,
It's like detriment to the story to have that.
it's a detriment, but I still feel like you can.
Well,
you
I mean,
can still
Netflix
go.
did it.
Well, what's funny is that in this package we get the Netflix dub and we get the classic dub.
oh, wow.
So we get what's his name? Spike Jonze? That's his name that plays Shinji,
I don't
right?
think so.
Spike.
Spike Jones?
It's not Spike
Spike
Jonze.
Lee?
I wanted to say
Yeah.
Spike Spiegel, but that is not his name.
Spike Spiegel.
But
Like Amanda Winley and all
so
that.
I think that you might be wrong on the Netflix dub. I remember seeing the original 1995 dub on there and the Dolby Blu-ray dub. I don't remember seeing the
Dolby Blu-ray dub? What is that?
the new like redone dub.
But that doesn't make any sense though, because then what would the classic be?
From 1995.
Yeah, 97.
Whatever.
98.
No, it's the new Netflix.
100.
Okay, hang on. So the new Blu-ray edition includes the official dub and subtitled versions, and bonus classic dub and subtitled versions from 1997.
So no Netflix dub.
Well, wait. We'll see. Because I'm
well-
still pretty sure that that's what it is. Because there's only 2 dubs for Evangelion. There's the classic, and then there's this new one for the Netflix, which is really, really fucking bad.
Yeah,
Do
well, that's
not-
what I'm saying though, is that like
That's the whole
because
point
it's
of this
owned by
diatribe.
Netflix, and that's like why Fly Me to the Moon wasn't on the Netflix version because Netflix couldn't get the rights. But I don't think that Netflix is the one that's backing this Blu-ray release.
It's Ghibli Kids.
Yeah, so I don't think that they're going to. I think that Netflix's dub is just their own dub.
I don't know. I don't really care enough about it to continue talking about it. But there's a couple reasons why I'm not fucking buying this thing.
Oh, so you're still talking about it?
Yeah. I mean the dub, not the packages as a whole, because it doesn't matter. It's $300. That's a lot of fucking money.
That is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. It comes with a lot of shit too, which, you know, I'm trying to not buy useless shit anymore. Like, I canceled my copy of Ghost of Tsushima for PS5 because I'm just like, I don't need it right now. You know, first of all, I don't need that game right now. Second of all, like, that's another case. Like, I'm slowly at the point now where I'm taking out PS4 games to put in place a PS5 game. So it's like, now I have to find a place to put this PS4 game, which is fucking annoying because, like, I want to have all my games in a spot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Just
So
get a tote.
I need to get, like, another shelf, like a third shelf, and just start filling that up. Because, like, the one is completely full of PS4 games, and then the other one is, like, almost halfway with PS5 games. It's just something that's like bugging me, so I'm inching more and more towards digital only,
Gotcha.
which really, you know, fucking hurts to
Dude,
say.
I honestly, part of me, when I bought Hades and Persona 5 Strikers and
yeah.
was playing them, and I was like, okay, I want to switch over to Persona, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I have to
I gotta
get
get
up.
up. I gotta get up.
I have to go to the shelf where the game is.
Yeah.
And then but I was like, no, but this is what you've always done. You've always bought.
I've always done this. Yep.
Like, had this little internal monologue with myself.
I never thought I'd catch this bug, but I have it now.
See, I can't because like what if something happened and my shit fried? I'd still have the disc. You
Well,
know?
but
I know
you
what
would-
you mean.
But you would still have the purchase
Well,
on
yeah.
your... Because it keeps...
And it would be
purchases.
downloaded to your console.
But I always,
Fair.
whenever a new game comes out that I really want, I'll go check and be like, okay, which one of these can I get rid of to help me get this new game?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Which is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. Because it's like, you just lost 3 games and you just got one brand new game.
Yeah.
Like,
Just to finish up on Evangelion, No Flight of Me to the Moon is a big problem for me as a fan, just because of how important the context of that song is to a lot of the characters. And yeah, there's just a lot of shit in there, and unnecessary shit, and that's a lot of fucking money, bro. Like, that's a lot of money. I love Evangelion. I've spent a lot of fucking money on Evangelion. That's enough.
that's kind of the thought process I had when we saw the Persona 5 animation.
Yeah,
It was like $600 or some
It
shit.
was like $250
Oh, fuck,
or
yeah.
something, and I still would love to have that.
I would too, because I haven't seen any of it, and I want to watch it dubbed.
So I would wait.
Yeah.
So it's on Funimation dubbed, by the way. Yeah. That, like, and it's good. Like,
Please go into
Okay.
it with...
Okay.
the
Go into-
animation is awful, but
Oh,
the
it's
the dub
so
is...
bad. The dub is really good, but that animation... Because that shit
I
came out...
want like an anime with the animation from the games. Like, that's what I want.
So it doesn't.
It is.
it's-
I know.
yeah.
I know it's not like, but I'm saying that's what I would love if I had my
It
way.
would be awesome, but...
That's
Yeah.
why it's so fucking disappointing.
Well, so there's rumors going around. Well, some of them are already confirmed, but there are 6 or 9 projects that Atlas is
we're
working
getting
on
them
right now.
revealed. One of them revealed next month.
And one of them is believed to be a Persona 5 Royale animation.
Oh.
Damn.
Oh.
Which I'm hoping that
that would be rad. That would be really
I'm
cool.
really hoping that P Studios does the animation for that instead of A1 Pictures and Aniplex. Because that was so bad.
See my best girl in action. Kasumi.
Oh, Yoshizawa-san.
All right. So thanks to the wonderful Eddie, I have now got a copy that I am borrowing of Cyberpunk.
Okay. Have you played it at all?
No. I just
No.
No, I just got it yesterday.
Nope.
That's funny because I was having thoughts about letting you borrow my copy
Too late.
because, oh, continue. Go ahead.
So yeah, I am borrowing Cyberpunk. I put it in and installed it yesterday, but I haven't gotten around to playing it, so we'll get around to that.
It's there.
And the bigger part of that news is more for everyone,
Mhm.
which of course is that we have a new update, a new patch
Mhm.
for. It's mainly like just quality of life and bug shit, right?
They added some DLC in there.
Oh, did they?
Just clothing options.
Oh, I see.
I think a new vehicle, and then there's also an alternate costume, an alternate clothing set for Johnny Silverhand.
Gotcha.
You know, I still haven't finished that game.
Neither have I.
good.
I don't doubt that, but it's just
Bro.
It got to me. I finally was just like, I can't play this anymore.
I didn't much care for my ending, so I'm definitely going to replay.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, same here.
I'm just very burnt out by it right now, and I'm really pissed off at CD Projekt Red for all of the shit that they've been
For
doing.
a hot second, you could buy Cyberpunk at Best Buy for $10.
Yep.
It came with the steel case, and I tried to
Yep.
go get it just because I wanted the steel case,
Uh-huh.
and it was sold out.
So, obviously, I played the hell out of it when it came out. I got like 30 hours into it, and that was pretty much like all one weekend. Like, I remember and it was the weekend that I built my PC. Like, I
right.
fucking got the hell into Cyberpunk.
Right.
Like, all blemishes and all. Like, that first month of Cyberpunk was wild, because there was just so much shit. And I eventually dropped it because I got to a point where the glitches and the bugs and all the really messy shit just started to affect me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I have bigger plans for my PC, like, you know, because I wanted to get a 3080 and all that. So I was like, I'm just going to put this away until then. And boy, howdy, wouldn't you know it, I got my 3080, got my PC, fucking finally.
Yeah.
So this game, on this PC right here that I'm pointing at in real life, it has a 1080 in it. It handled most games really well. Cyberpunk it did not handle well at all. Like, really at all. I got like 35 frames off of medium settings, 1440p. Like, it looked pretty rough. Like, a lot of Play-Doh, and it just wasn't great.
Well, you got something against claymation?
In my video games, yes. Unless it's this little unknown gem called Clay Fighter from the 90s.
Clay Fighter was the fucking bomb, dude.
Unless it's that, I don't want to hear no fucking slander.
We're about to go on another tangent if we don't hurry.
This is what
fucking
I'm
Clay
looking
Fighter
at.
was the shit.
Ooh. I haven't heard about Skytech, but there is, if you're willing to go just a little bit lower in power, on Newegg, there's I can't remember, it's an Intel, but there's a 3060 and it's $1,300.
Well, I have a
And it's ABS.
$2,000 Best Buy credit card, so that's fine.
Me too, and I just paid it off after all this stuff.
Nice.
And I've been doing my best not to spend any money on it.
Do they have ABS systems at Best Buy? Because that's what this guy is, and I really recommend
Yeah,
ABS.
ABS stands for A Best Buy System.
A Best Buy.
Automatic brake system. I love those computers.
So I am playing it now on a 3080. It's fucking amazing, bro. Like, it really kind of sucks because, like, that pay ceiling to get in to experience Cyberpunk at what it really is meant to play like and be like, you know, that's not okay in terms of... And I know it's not really Cyberpunk's fault at all either, because, like, they didn't know that this fucking graphics card shit was going to happen.
Yeah.
Making it impossible for people to get it.
However, like, I mean, you still
That's
have
not
to buy...
taking away, yeah.
You still have to buy a graphics card
Like, it was never...
for that game, and if you get them from, like, an actual distributor, they're still, like, $600.
I was gonna say, it was never gonna be cheap.
So it's
No,
essentially a
definitely
$660
Definitely not.
game.
And it fucking runs, man, and it's so good. You know, indoors I'm getting 90 frames, outdoors I'm getting like mid 70s. Like, it's fucking insane. And the level of detail that goes into that goddamn game, dude. The beginning was so good. Really sucks that, like, not everybody is going to know Cyberpunk as this game that I'm experiencing right now. They're going to know it as the buggy mess, because once a game comes out like that and just bombs as hard as it does,
Yeah.
people don't come back.
No.
And I was
People
actually...
came back to The Witcher 3, though, and that happened
Well,
to them.
and the other thing is, too, is No Man's Sky. We can't ignore that game anymore, because what that game was and what it is now is such a huge fucking change.
Mm-hmm.
And they could do that. CD Projekt Red could do that to get back in favor. Let us not forget, they did make The Witcher 3, which is a fucking phenomenal game, and then they basically made it again with Blood and Wine. Like,
Well, and that's what I was going to say is that I think that they'll come out with, like, a definitive edition.
with the DLC.
Which is a little bit more system friendly.
Well,
Probably around the same time that they released the PS5 and Xbox
If
Series
you remember
X
when
versions.
The Witcher 3 came out, it was this whole problem, except it was backwards. Like, it ran like shit on PCs, but it ran, you know, substantially better on console. But
Cyberpunk is just this crazy game that cannot really run unless it's got some really powerful hardware running it, which is, you know, not okay, but goddamn, when you have it, it is so great.
Call of Duty Vanguard Alpha begins next week for all PS5 and PS4 players.
Nice.
And it's funny, at the top of the article, it goes, Activision Blizzard is currently facing serious ongoing allegations of harassment and
Oh yeah, they can't let
It's
that
just,
go.
It's just getting,
To learn more, please visit our timeline as well, and then they go in and... So, the beta is going to... You can preload it on the 23rd, which is tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the time of this recording, it's tomorrow, so Monday. And then you can start playing it, let's see, on the 27th, 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Why are we doing
So
this?
9-hour time.
Why are we doing these time zones?
I don't know.
Pacific time is an hour behind us.
Yeah.
So
11.
fucking stupid,
It's an hour
bro.
ahead.
They did the same thing for Halo.
Well,
Just do an open beta and let us fucking play the game, bro.
Well, I mean, it has to launch depending on where you're at.
Are you joking?
What?
You're joking, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I don't either. What time?
Well, you missed it.
So he said, because you said 10 a.m. Pacific time, and Derek's like, so 9-hour time, and I was like, no, Pacific is behind us, and
And I was
he's like,
no, it's ahead.
he's like, no, it's ahead, but he said it like very confidently and like not in a sarcastic voice, and so I went like, and I'm like, wait, is Derek like actually stupid?
You old shrew.
I've just been I've been tricking you all. It's all been a big.
Wait a minute,
it's
you're
all
not
been
really a professor?
It's all been a big ruse.
Yeah.
Definitely pulled one over my eyes.
World War II again, huh?
As of this moment right now, I'm not sold on it.
I'm not either. It seems... Well, for one, it seems like another Battlefield 5 situation where it's like, there were no women in World War II. Blah, 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 blah. So you're already
in the kitchen.
You already, yeah, exactly. It's like, where's my fucking sandwich, bitch? Like, there's, like, it's just, I can hear it now. Like,
Yeah.
it's inevitable.
I mean-
I hate this shit where it's like, we're trying to go back to World War II so frequently that we're trying to also add in at the same time, like, cause America in the 1940s was completely fucking different in so many different ways that it's like, you really think that, like, because the whole, is it World War I or World War II where they had, like, a whole outfit that was 100% entirely of African American soldiers?
That was a 2.
I think that might have been World War I can't remember, though. But, like, give me a break. You don't think that, like, back then we were never shining a spotlight on this group at all?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we were horrible to these people, especially back then. They didn't get no fucking hero's return when they got home. Like, they went right back into the poverty that they left,
Well,
you know?
and let alone, I mean, they can take whatever artistic fucking license they want. It's a goddamn video game.
Yeah.
See, the thing is,
They can
like,
make an ALF if they fucking wanted to. Who cares?
and one of the reasons I enjoyed Cold War was because it was a cool, like, twist to be like, yeah, you remember the Cold War, how nothing happened? Well, actually, this
There's
shit
a lot of
happened
shit
behind the
happened.
scenes.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool because when you think about the Cold War, you just think like, oh, you know, we were just on each side, just like, hey, fuck you. No, fuck you. Like the two guys on the islands, like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you!
And,
Well, see, but that's where Call of Duty can go, though, because all of that shit, like, secret Black Ops is, like, a thing, you know?
we have overdone this World War II so much. Like, I don't need to go back. I still have Call of Duty World War II, whatever the fuck it's called, the
Well, it's
last one
called
that came
World
out.
War II.
I still have that. If I want to, I can pop it in and play it.
That campaign's really good.
It is.
Sledgehammer is slept on, bro. Like, they really are. They make good Call of Duty, so
And
I'm wondering...
I could be speaking too soon. Like, I'll definitely play the beta and check that shit out. But as of, like, this moment, I'm just like, World War II again? Why?
I mean, I feel like I'm always going to have a steady Warzone grind in my routine. But, like, the new Vanguard... I don't know if I'm just, like, super disillusioned with Activision Blizzard right now because of all the shit that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just cannot. And not only that, like, this is the game that's gonna be most affected by COVID. You know, so I'm really wondering what's happening here.
Well, and the funniest thing about how Activision Blizzard is responding to like all of these issues is that all they put out a statement and said, "Oh, we're sorry. We're looking into it, I guess.
We're sorry.
We're sorry." But now all they're doing, like, they keep putting out announcements, like, especially just for WoW, because of course I follow WoW stuff on Twitter and whatnot.
WoW's having a rough time right now,
and dude,
bro.
all of the shit they're announcing is like, "Oh my god, guess what we're putting in the game? You can change your color of your hair to new colors." Like, that is not what anyone gives a fuck about.
And
I
then
mean,
it shows
they
the meme
might-
of like the Apple fans, like
yeah, right? Like, I mean, some people might care, yeah, for sure. But, like, in the face of everything else going on, not a single person is going like, "Oh, bravo.
Bro,
Good
So
job."
brave.
I know, right? Like,
World of
it's-
Warcraft is going through some shit right now, bro.
It is, and
with
like,
all that
and the thing-
Asmongold shit.
And the thing that's fucked up is, at least for me anyway, like, I love the new patch. Like, I'm having a great time with it, and like, to have all of this stuff happening at the same time is just really, it really hurts. You know, it's very disheartening, and it's just basically like watching the developer of the game that you've played for a decade, like, just shit all over themselves and just keep piling it on top of themselves with a shovel.
And that, it seems to be more coming from Blizzard too, like all these things.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, no, this is
Like all
stuff
these
that's been going on
accusations
for a
is-
long time.
What's his name? Fucking stepped down too.
Yeah.
Was his name Alan?
I forget, because somebody, like, I don't recall their names, but the one guy had stepped down like a
The guy with
week
long hair.
week or two ago, and then yeah, just like this last week, like somebody else.
That guy was
stepped
such a douchebag, bro.
down. Yeah.
When all the what was it? It was all the fucking Hong Kong shit.
Oh.
And he comes out and he's on stage and he's got like a little pride flag medallion thing on right here, and he's like, "We're so sorry about all the shit and we need to do better." And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, dude! You fucking chill.
Yeah,
shut up."
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, they've always just relied on we'll tell them we'll do better next time, and then by next time they'll have forgotten that we said that. So they just never do anything,
bro.
you know?
People are not forgetting about what's going on right now.
Good.
But Vanguard is a weird thing, bro, for me.
so. Anyways,
Sorry.
I don't know if I already said, but it's August 27th or 29th, and if you participate in the alpha, you'll get a calling card and emblem for Vanguard as well as in Warzone. Here's the part that pierces my heart. Following the integration of Vanguard, so they're fucking somehow making these two games fuck each other.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Cold War and Modern Warfare have been fucking each other for a year.
it makes it so I got this, but I can't use it in fucking Black Ops, but I got this in Black Ops and I can't use it here. Like,
Yeah.
It's messy. Yeah, it's messy.
that is my information.
Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2 coming January 2022.
Yep. Thank God.
Yep.
Let's end it already.
That's my anime news.
All right.
Before we head into the subject of the hour, if you're listening on YouTube, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that little bell icon. We want to get into as many nerdy ears as we can, and that is the best way to do it. Before we start, according to listennotes.com, we are in the top 10% of in the global ranking. I want to thank.
Oh yeah.
Got him.
Got him.
I want to thank Lee Hager from the Chew the Fat podcast. He's the one that brought me up on there. Love him. I always big shout outs to you, brother. But yeah, and congratulations to Chew the Fat, who is in the 5 percentile.
Damn,
Nice.
bro.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
So big congratulations to them. If you haven't heard them, please go ahead. They just sit around, they bullshit, and they talk about whatever it is that they want, and it's probably just one of the like more chill, cool podcasts that I listen to on a weekly basis. So go ahead and check them out. So Iron Man, very first one.
Wow.
And Cole, this was one that you had already seen.
Yeah.
So,
I have also already seen it.
I mean,
but it was like years ago.
I feel like if anyone's watched one Marvel movie,
That's
it's
Iron
Iron
Man.
Man. Yeah.
So this was directed by Jon Favreau, right?
yep.
And the resurrection of Robert Downey Jr.'s career, really.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the resurrection of his massive fame. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
he was still in a couple movies, like, between, 98 and Iron Man.
Yeah.
But,
Did you ever
like,
see,
not any sort of notoriety until Iron Man.
There's a really good indie movie he was in called Charlie Bartlett.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one, but I was looking at his filmography and saw that in there.
And Charlie
That's a
Bartlett's a really good movie, yeah.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that not only was this like brought almost said Robert Rodriguez. Not only has this resurrected Robert Rodriguez's career,
I didn't see him in that
Yeah.
movie.
not only did this bring Robert Downey Jr. back, but this was like kind of the like
The kickoff.
the kickoff to all the cool shit that Jon Favreau has started doing.
Oh yeah, and it was really, it's the kickoff of the Marvel Cinematic
It
Universe.
is. Yeah, it is.
And like, what a way to kick it off.
Right. Absolutely. I feel like this was probably like it was just in the right place at the right time because we weren't that saturated with superhero movies yet. We were still wanting
but with bad ones, with bad superhero movies.
we wanted to like there was a big sci-fi boom
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
around that time. Like the late aughts was like super sci-fi, give me everything sci-fi. So this came at just the right time.
And I don't want to say that had this film done poorly, that would have been the start and end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
But man, would it have really taken the legs out from under it.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, it would have been, I feel like, years before they even tried again.
So, did Paramount used to have the Marvel rights?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Marvel rights have been split up around all sorts of different companies.
Right, like Sony, but I was just wondering if Paramount was like the main one.
Well, this was before Marvel Studios was a thing and before Marvel really had any thought to trademark or keep the rights to their shit. So anybody could have made anything at the moment.
Like, they would just do it property by property. Like, that's why Spider-Man's with Sony and all the other ones are with different random fuckers.
X-Men was with Fox.
Yep, X-Men with Fox, all that
Fantastic
shit.
Four.
Blade was with New Line Cinema. Like,
I'll bet you though that if that movie like bombed, then we would have never gotten like Mandalorian or
Well,
no
and
fucking
especially,
way.
like, there's no way. If a character as big as Iron Man had bombed, we would not be getting Ant-Man, we wouldn't be getting Star-Lord, we wouldn't be getting T'Challa. We'd get none of these quote-unquote, fringe or lesser-known characters.
secondary for like...
It wouldn't fucking happen.
Well, yeah, because Iron Man on his own was a secondary character. Like, he was part of big things as far as the comics were concerned, but no one ever thinks of, like, no one outside of a comic knowledge would think of superheroes and have one of them be Iron Man.
Like, especially, if you know nothing about comics, the only ones that you would name right off the top of your head would be Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and, maybe a handful of others, but, like, Iron Man's not really a secondary character, and so I think some people would have known him, but definitely he's not, like, one of the, pantheon of everyone who's ever seen television knows who these people are.
Exactly.
Gwyneth Paltrow can fucking get it.
Any day of the week.
Every
Any
day of the week.
day.
Yeah,
every
baby.
minute of the week.
Tell me all about them weird fucking egg things you sticking up your vagina. Let me see.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
She's got a nasty
candle.
candle line.
No, Gwyneth Paltrow cannot get it.
That's
any
right.
day of the week ever.
Damn,
because
girl.
she's putting stuff up in her that can cause like
Yeast
nasty,
infections.
terrible, like bad shit going. No,
She got a candle that smelled like a pussy.
Damn, baby, let me stick that up my ass.
yeah, no. Gwyneth
I
Paltrow
totally
cannot
forgot
get it.
about that.
She is
I didn't
not,
even know that.
That bitch
Yeah.
think her pussy
yeah.
don't stink at all,
and
bro.
medical professionals were like, please don't do this. You could severely harm
Do you want to know
yourself.
what it's called?
Oh, I know what it was.
Yeah,
What-
Goop.
Oh, that's right, Goop.
It's what
Goop.
it's what her business is called. Yeah.
Goop?
That's 'cause
It is.
Oh,
That's because that's what comes out when you use the egg.
oh my god. bro. It's like a precious stone, right? That they like a jade or
I don't
something
even
that they
know what
fucking
they use, but actually, you mentioning Gwyneth Paltrow is one of the things I think we should talk about right off the bat. Is the fucking amazing casting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I really am so sad that Terrence Howard didn't continue on as Rhodey.
Yeah, man.
He made that joke throughout the entire movie while he was conscious.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
I would say the only thing that I had a problem with Terrence Howard is just how soft-spoken he is.
It's Don Cheadle now, right?
Yeah, it's Don
I
Cheadle.
feel like an army guy wouldn't be that soft-spoken typically, especially one who's like,
Well, he's an airman, not an army.
well, whatever. I don't.
He spends time in the air, not on the ground. Or
There's
He could be seaman for all I.
there was a skit that I saw.
you know the name.
Got him!
Hella got him.
There was a skit that I saw where it was somebody playing Terrence Howard as Batman, but it was Batman.
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 Cole has been sending me nothing but Terrence Howard TikTok. And I live for those things, man. Iron Man.
The fucking LeBron shit, dude.
Dude, I'm so
That
over that. Can you not send me any more
I
of
am
those?
gonna send them every. Can I put my balls in your jaws?
I hate every time I see a LeBron thing,
I
the
love it.
fill
I
up with
wanna
water
go-
or whatever.
I want to go buy them so bad.
I don't. I'm over it.
That
I'm
shit's
over
so
them so
fucking
much.
funny, dog.
I'm over them. Like I don't even watch them.
Like when I think of Rhodey, I think of somebody a lot more engaging and excited and dynamic. I don't know. That's just me.
I think Don Cheadle's a better fit, personally. I haven't really seen anything, but Terrence Howard is such a fucking... What movie is he in? Is he in Big Mama's House?
He
I
was
don't know.
in movie 43 at the very end.
Terrence Howard fucking sucks. Like, I'm sorry.
I
Like,
don't
there's-
know.
and
No,
did
no,
you-
no,
you
no,
know
I
no.
thought he did.
You
a
know
good
why
job.
he didn't show up in the second movie, right?
Because he's stupid?
He didn't want. He wanted more money.
Yeah, he was like,
Okay.
he wanted a fuckload more money, supposedly.
So this man created his own way of making doing math.
Oh God.
And
Man.
if you
Man.
you really should go down this rabbit hole because Terrence Howard thinks he is some kind of alien sent from above. Like he's fucking weird, bro.
Dude, I
Whenever-
liked him
that's
in
why
Four
I-
Brothers.
Terrence Howard can be good. Like in Four Brothers, that's a timeless. That's fucking timeless. And the stuff that I've heard he does in Empire is really good too.
These are my four brothers,
Well,
man.
he's fine
Man.
on screen. That's not where he runs
He's
into
just
trouble.
fucking kooky, bro.
But yeah, I mean, you could not, I feel like, in a million years have picked anyone better in terms of look and in terms of personality and history. You could not have picked anyone better than Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man.
Well, absolutely,
Tony Stark.
because that's who he is. Like
That
that's who Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
was in outside of.
And of course,
He is the Iron Man.
right? And they don't go into it in the movie at all. The only, like, Tony Stark drinks constantly, but at least in terms of the movie portrayal, it's social drinking. It's, I'm a businessman, and so I'm expected to have a drink in my hand. But Tony Stark in the comics
Is an
was
alcoholic.
a raging alcoholic, sometimes, prone to domestic violence. And like, there were times that, and I'll get into this later, but there were times that he just straight up stopped giving a shit about anything and was homeless.
Really?
Like, he was a hardcore alcoholic, and Robert Downey Jr. definitely can empathize or sympathize with that. Like, it's just crazy.
You know what my favorite movie with him is? So it was obviously a couple years after the hype of Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes, which was a big fucking get for him,
Which
too.
was like the same year, wasn't it? I believe
It was
It was
something
either
like-
the same year or the year after.
Robert Downey Jr. was popping the fuck off because he had Iron Man, he had that, he had Sherlock Holmes, he had Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, which was same. No, it was Tropic Thunder and Iron Man that came out in the same year, and then I think the other one.
Are you sure? I feel like
Sherlock
Tropic
Holmes
Thunder was way before everything.
Tropic Thunder is a super inappropriate movie.
Particularly his part.
Well, God. But my favorite Robert Downey Jr. movie is a movie called Due Date. Have you ever seen this movie?
Oh, it's so
that
good.
movie is fucking awesome.
That was
dude.
the first rated R
you
movie
were
that I
talking
ever
about.
watched in the theaters.
Oh, wow.
I stole that movie from a gas station.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Say that into my lapel.
Allegedly. No, Due Date's fucking
Due
awesome,
Date is
dude.
fantastic.
And it's like...
It's
I
like
remember-
very, like Hangover.
Yeah, it even has Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
in it.
I remember it being like kind of a weird role for him because like that's kind of RDJ's whole spiel, right? He's the smart talking, fast talking asshole, right? Like that's just kind of he's always that, right?
Smart talking, fast talking
Asshole.
Just
With the hand movements and everything. That's just who he is.
I need to check your asshole.
So when you get a movie like Due Date, and it's just so weird, because like he had this whole like, I'm a serious actor, but I can be funny too. Like, I love it when that shit happens, especially with like Adam Sandler and like funny people.
That's kind of how he was, like in the first, like when they meet up and start going across the country, he's just like, can you please shut the fuck up? Like, this is a trip that I don't want to be taking, and I just want to sit here.
What do? They smoke a bunch of weed, and then they have like a Pink Floyd moment in their car.
And they like see like a bear or something.
Yeah,
But
that movie fucking.
What does he
rocks,
say
bro.
when they're stopped at the border or whatever? And he's like, "Why are your eyes so glazed?" or whatever.
I have glaucoma.
He's like, "Does your dog have glaucoma too?"
Yeah. And the dog's jerking itself off.
Yeah, that movie fucking rocks, bro. I have to find that shit so we can watch it again.
So, Jon Favreau, who I don't think I had seen since PCU, which is a fucking deep-ass callback. Did any of you ever see that?
No.
Dude, it was when he was like a kid, basically. He had these little, like, Rasta white boy dreads.
Didn't Swingers come out after PCU?
Oh, no, that's right. But yeah, I didn't ever watch Swingers
The
for some
earliest
reason.
that I remember
Back then.
seeing Jon Favreau in, before he was like even happy in
Yeah.
the later Avengers movies, was he was married to Jamie Presley in I Love You Man. And Paul Rudd just pukes all over him. That was like one of the best parts of the movie.
He also has an episode in The Sopranos.
He's great. Like, I mean, I don't think Jon Favreau can do any wrong.
Dude, Jon Favreau is a tour de force.
Like, can you think of any other person since like Home Alone that has made a Christmas movie that was instantly like classic?
Right.
Like, and Home Alone's fun and it's from my youth and all that shit, but like even that doesn't hold a candle to how amazing Elf is. Like, that's a fucking holiday staple.
Yeah. Elf is one of the Christmas movies that actually made itself. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it made its Elf.
we get old Paul Bettany as Jarvis.
Which, okay, I the second I saw Paul Bettany originally in Knight's Tale, I fucking loved him, and I wanted to see him in everything.
Yeah.
Knight's Tale is so
It
movie.
really is. It really is. Like, for me, some of the other characters were great, but like Paul Bettany is 100% who I was like, God, I fucking love this movie, and it's because of that dude. Like, he's just great. And so, like, when I found out that he was in that movie, I flipped. I was so excited.
He's Vision, right?
Yeah, well, he's Vision and then Jarvis.
He's Jarvis
for
first,
these movies,
yeah.
And then Jeff Bridges.
That's Obadiah Stane.
I think
I didn't fucking know it was Jeff Bridges until
really?
I saw the end. I was like, holy fuck, it is, dude.
He encapsulates Obadiah Stane extremely well.
Oh, yeah, like I couldn't have seen anybody else playing Stane besides him.
I do wish that they leaned a little bit more into who Obadiah Stane was, and I'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, like, he did great. He did really, really well.
I wanted to mention that I like laughed like a oh, that's so cute but also funny. Stan Lee as Hugh Hefner. I was like, yes.
Yes. The Stan Lee cameo in this one was it's in one of my top 5 cameos.
Yeah, no, that was great. Now that we're done with the cast, or at least the main... Oh, no. Hold on. We forgot Coulson.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We cannot talk about Agent Coulson.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck, man.
Like, dude, I absolutely love this dude so much. What's his fucking name?
And
Clark Gregg.
he only gets better, like, in the later Marvel movies, too.
Clark Gregg is a treasure. I don't know why, but I think he's so fucking great. He's so likable for some reason.
Yeah, he really is. He does the least, but you feel it the most.
Yeah, he's so just minimal. Everything he does, he wastes no energy, emotion, or anything like that doesn't need to be done or that doesn't seem appropriate. It's just, I don't know why, but the way he presents himself is just hypnotizing somehow. That's the first time I think that he's been off the small screen, right? Because he's been in TV shows long before then.
I think so, but I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think that's the first major picture we see him in. And when he goes back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I watched all of that, every single episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
So now that we're done talking about the cast, or the main cast, I just want to talk a bit about Obadiah Stane and who he is and what his history is. Because Marvel changed, or at least the movie changed his history quite a bit. Which, to me, is a disservice to the character. I mean, obviously, I'm sure it was more of just what's convenient to the story that doesn't take a long time, so they were like, okay, they're friends. And sort of business partners or whatever. But that's not at all who Obadiah Stane is. Obadiah Stane is basically this really fucked up kid that has genius level intelligence, but through different events in his history, like with his dad and with other just general people, he's a very dark, twisted, fucked up person. There was one of the stories, actually, just to kind of give you an idea. When he was a child, was playing chess with another child, and this other child's skill in chess rivaled his. So, his idea, his big way to push himself over the top a little bit was to murder the kid's dog.
Oh.
So that he would be so
fucking got him.
So, right?
Hella got him.
So that he would be so distraught.
Yeah.
That maybe Obadiah would win.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fucked.
Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, that's fucked.
So anyway, but he's got genius level intelligence. However, he's not as intelligent as Tony Stark, of course. Mm-hmm. And also, all he had was the intelligence. He didn't have the engineering brilliance that Tony Stark does. So, they're rivals, but Obadiah has always kind of been the, feelings of insecurity and wanting to be superior that, kind of went with him from childhood. And so it becomes this massive, massive rivalry. And like I was saying earlier, one of those times that Tony Stark goes on a bender and stops caring about life and everything going on, Obadiah Stane actually swoops in and steals his company. So that is kind of, from here on, is pretty much where Marvel starts to really mirror the comics more with Obadiah Stane. But yeah, so I just feel like that history is really important for Obadiah's character, So anyway, Ironmonger is what his suit is called. The scene in the movie where he gathers those scientists and he's trying to get them to get it done and fix it or get it created. Yeah. That happened in the comics because, like I said, he doesn't have that engineering brilliance that Tony Stark does. So he gathered a group of scientists in the comics as well and did the same thing to build the Ironmonger. So just a lot of really cool shit. And then he takes over Tony's company, and there's this... Tony goes through this whole thing in the comics of, basically not feeling like he's worth anything and nothing is worth doing, and he just kind of lays in a gutter. And then, just by some little thing that happens where he helps a little girl, or, just one of those kind of things, he gets his balls back, as, Ricky Bobby would say.
Yeah.
He got his balls back and, went and took care of shit. But yeah, so Obadiah Stane's a really fucking cool character.
He really is.
And, he just doesn't get that credit, but...
What was your high point of the movie?
When he goes back and just fucking destroys the weird Taliban
The
group.
the 10 rings or whatever?
Yeah, when he has like the actual suit, and he's like, yeah, paint it red.
Right. Fun fact about that group, the 10 rings, that's the Mandarin's group.
Really?
Yeah, and that's the group that is going to be, I believe, in Shang-Chi.
Oh,
Really?
fuck, dude. We're gonna eventually have to watch Iron Man 3.
You know what? We gotta do it. This is what we're doing. We're gonna have to watch Thor Dark World too.
I did think it was pretty funny how this movie, a large chunk of this movie takes place in Afghanistan.
Considering current events.
It's pretty timely.
Yeah,
Right.
It is actually.
Right, and I was thinking that to myself when I was watching. I was like, could you imagine if they tried to make this movie now?
Yeah.
It reminds me of when they were supposed to make, long ago, I think a Siphon Filter game on the PS2, but it got either delayed permanently, is what I was trying to say.
On hiatus.
Cancelled.
Or just canceled, because part of it, they had developed the game long before we went to Afghanistan in the first place.
Right.
They had a mission in Afghanistan, and they were just like, yeah, we can't have that in this game right now, because that's when we were first there with George W. Bush and everything. So they're like,
yeah, that's the same timeline as that 7 Days in Fallujah game.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite part, Nick?
I really like the part when he builds the prototype and he just busts that scene where he just busts the door open and just starts shooting everybody. I also like when he's trying to figure the suit out and he's destroying all of his fucking cars.
Yeah.
But one of the parts that I really enjoy is when they go at the end to try and stop Obadiah, and they run into this building that's just pitch black, and they're looking around, and then Warmonger just kind of Ironmonger comes out of the darkness and just starts killing.
Yeah,
everybody.
behind the chains.
Yeah,
that was such a fucking.
That's
cool
what I'm
scene.
just because of the cinematography.
Yeah,
how they did that. That was one of my favorite parts.
That was great. Angeler.
One more time.
Angeler.
I think my favorite part was when Stain and Tony were fighting on the highway, and the stupid lady with her car full of kids is just gunning the gas.
Yeah, why are you hurting the person who helped you?
Yeah, I don't know. I got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
My favorite was the trial run, Mark II's whole trial montage. It gave it a levity to what was already going on, and also the Gulmira part where he goes back to Gulmira and he just kicks everyone's ass.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed the part where he comes back from there and he's on the phone with Rhodey. I almost called him Rodney. And he's like, "Hey, it's me," and he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "No, it's me."
The thing is me. Yeah. I like that part too. That was good.
I liked also when him and War Machine are fighting at the end of the movie in the park exhibit or whatever.
Oh, you mean Ironmonger?
Ironmonger. You said War Machine.
Isn't it War Machine or is it
Nope.
is it Ironmonger?
Ironmonger is Obadiah Stane's.
Right.
And
I just thought that it was them teaming up at the end. Maybe I'm thinking of a different
Oh,
Iron Man movie, but
Yeah.
Isn't that Terrence
they-
Howard's Iron Man suit? Is Warbringer?
War Machine.
War Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
am
that's-
thinking of a different
that's
one because it's Don
probably the
Cheadle that's
second
doing
one.
that. But yeah, so but the whole fight with Ironmonger was great too.
So I think one of my favorite parts is the part where at the end of the test run where he he goes up and gets encased in ice and all of that jazz, and then hovers like 4 or 5 feet above his roof, and then says cut the power, and then he just goes chunk 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 through the floors. I really like that. Like, what did you expect to happen? You're in a shitload of metal.
Yeah.
You're in a suit of iron.
I actually have a second one though, which is the end credit scene.
Right. Yeah. We should get into that now.
Little song to go.
Thank you.
Right.
I
So
worked on it really hard.
so at the end of the movie, of course, Tony Stark pretty much just admits that he's Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then he's going into his house right after that press conference, and all you hear is, "I am Iron Man." He's like, "You think you're the only superhero out there?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Mr. Stark, you have become part of a big universe, and you don't even know what you got yourself into."
And who is it?
Old Nick Fury himself.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson's first appearance in the MCU, where he says, "Hello, Mr. Stark, I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative." Boy, when I first saw that,
My pee-pee got hard.
I couldn't be more erect.
I could have cut a diamond with my wiener.
Cutting windows, bro.
Yeah.
You think you were excited? You should have felt these nipples.
I honestly think that, that ended up becoming a staple of all Marvel movies to come in the MCU, is to tease that little extra bit, oh snap, they're talking about this, like the end credit scenes are such a fan service.
Because you know that they are saving the really big bomb drops for like the end credit scenes, and they're not just gonna do a little end credit scene and then nothing will happen from that.
Right,
Like, you know
exactly.
that whatever they're like revealing is going to happen later.
And they used to do the same thing really in cinema, just in a different way, because what they would do instead is you'd have your movie, the movie would end, the plot would be resolved, and then you'd get like 5 extra minutes more that lead into the next movie.
Yeah, it would
You know
be
what I mean?
the to be continued cliffhanger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they would do that literally, especially in the case of Back to the Future, literally on the screen, to be continued. So like they did it. It kind of feels, and I never even thought about it until now, but I feel like that was exactly what they were trying for.
Yeah, I agree. I
Just
think,
in a very different way.
But when you see that, watching Iron Man for the very first time, and there's not really end credit scenes that people are waiting for this time.
so you had to find out about it later.
You had to find out about it, and then you would go back and watch it, and then he says, "I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative," and then you just go, "Oh my God, are we getting the Avengers at some point?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, there was more than one occasion where I would leave the movie theater and go, "Oh fuck, there was an end credit scene,
Yeah.
son of a bitch." I mean, but then of course, now that's the expectation.
now I gotta get on my flip phone and
Yeah, dude, back then.
Were there any moments that may have disappointed you guys, or you thought, I could have done without this in the movie?
Honestly, it's pretty solid from beginning to end.
Yeah, because I mean, everything in there's not a wasted scene. Everything
No.
in there is either plot important or characterization of Tony and learning more about who he is and how he functions.
Yeah, it's pretty devoid of fat.
Yeah.
I gotta agree. I can't think of anything that I thought, no, we didn't need that.
Cool.
It's got a really good soundtrack.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath. I mean,
We gotta have
we
Black
got.
Sabbath, and there's also a callback. I think in the first actual Avengers movie, I think it's when Tony is in the room, like kind of going back and forth with Bruce, and he's wearing a Black Sabbath shirt, and I was like,
Hey.
Yeah.
I remember when this movie came out, bro.
Yeah.
This movie was all the hype. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Dude,
all
this
the hype.
this like as you know, a nerd who we've suffered through how many god awful superhero movies. As a nerd coming out of this movie, like that was the most joyful thing. Like just the fact that A, somebody got it right. B, like everyone else is excited about this thing that you've been excited about your whole life. You know,
it was like a sweet vindication.
it was.
I think because I remember seeing this movie in theaters, and I don't remember who I was going with, but I remember actually like thinking back to it. I remember watching the movie, and then while the credits were rolling, I was with whoever I was with, and we were like talking about it, like, oh my god, like that was a really good movie, and we talked like throughout the credits, and we were about to leave, and then like the end credit scene happened, and I'm like, oh wait, what?
What is going on here? Yeah. That's so rad, dude. Yeah, no, I am super grateful for this movie. I think that without this movie, I mean, yeah, we would have still seen superhero movies. I mean, Superman was, you know, a good iteration. Batman, you know what I mean? Like, those movies were established as superhero movies before, but I don't think we would have gotten it to such a scale that we got it if it wasn't for the success of this movie. Like,
This planted a lot of seeds, yeah.
It really did. And the Stan Lee cameo, just it's like Cole, you said, it is devoid of fat. It really got to the point. It really gave Iron Man and Tony Stark a life that we honestly wouldn't have gotten had they chosen anybody else to do it.
Right.
What are your guys' ratings? 1 being the worst, 5 being the best?
I mean, it's a 5. Like, I can't really... There's not really a whole lot I would fault in the movie. Like... I mean...
The science was fake.
If I really wanted to get nitpicky, it's pretty... Like, Tony's a pretty misogynistic character, but, like, even
That's
then...
who he is.
But even then, I would be like, yeah, that's a stupid criticism.
Yeah.
I love the part when the interviewer's just grilling the fuck out of him, and he's like, I'm gonna fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck you. And she's like, no, you're not. And he's like, yeah, I am.
Well, but
and
then
it
he
hard cuts
just-
to them fucking.
Then he just asks, well, okay, but do you want to fuck?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, all right.
Was a little off topic. Was this the one that Elon Musk was in, or was it?
No, he was in 2.
Okay.
What is he doing too?
He's
He's
in a
just-
scene. He
yeah.
makes a cameo.
Yeah, he's
Is it
like
when
there's
they're
just-
at the racetrack?
they're at the
And there's all
racetrack,
those-
and there's all
when-
these people
But
there.
Justin Hammer's
they're
there.
in like this like fancy party.
Yeah.
And that's the next one that we're supposed to watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think that one's
In
the
the
next in the
timeline,
timeline.
really?
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be funny to see Elon Musk because he's like geeking out on him. He's just like, no, I have this thing that you and I should really work on. It's pretty funny.
Huh.
But yeah, I also give it a 5. I think this movie was, for like, you know, nothing's perfect, but for lack of a better word, this movie was perfect. It was the perfect MCU movie, and I feel like it deserves that, the 5.
It's like an 8.5 out of 10.
Mhm.
Like if I was to go off of that, but like a 5 out of 5 is like the perfect rating for a movie like this, because I feel like it not only does it cater massively to like longtime fans, but it's also like just a good fun movie
It's
to watch.
digestible if you're not a fan. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those movies where you can watch it whether you're a fan or not and enjoy yourself.
Well, and not only that, but like I immediately saw the structure that it was taking, because like, you know, it begins the movie with you know, in media res, and then it like jumps back and it's like, hey, you know, this is 36 hours prior to what just happened, you know. And I kept thinking, I'm like, they're not really building up a big bad for like a while until his name's Obadiah.
Yep.
Obadiah Stane.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, like, the subtlety of, you know, the few things that Obadiah says along the way that you're like, wait, is he being nice, though? Or, you know, or is he being underhanded?
It's backhanded.
So, like, even though there's no build-up to it, like, there's
still
there's
there.
no, like, early...
It's no, like,
knowledge.
Thanos,
Yeah,
is what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
you
it's
don't
no
know who it is,
Joker, it's no...
But he definitely, like, as soon as it is revealed that he's the villain, you're not you know, it's not like there was a lack of one. You just go, holy shit, like all these things along the way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, and not only that, there's also the bait and switch with the villain as well, because like they were building up that Taliban guy quite a bit, and then you know he goes back and just fucking decimates him. So it's like, oh, okay, he's not the big bad. I'm not using it as a negative.
Oh, no,
I'm not saying Obadiah being like, you know, a shadow villain is like is a bad thing.
Right.
It's just you see what I'm trying to get at is like I saw the structure pretty early on where I'm like, okay, this is very small scale storytelling where it's like we're not really, like I said before, like we're planting seeds in terms of like the whole thing of like maybe you know, Obadiah's backstory not being fully fleshed out like you're saying it should be is probably because this is like the first movie where their ambitions weren't as grand as what they were thinking.
Right.
Because like I don't really believe when they were filming this movie, when they were writing this movie, that they thought it was going to become the big thing that it is today. Like, no fucking way Thanos is going to appear on the screen. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... So, like, they definitely... If they were to... Let's say they were to remake this movie today with all of the shit that's already happened, I could see, like, a very in-depth delve into Obadiah. I could see, like, a... You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
however, like, the way it was is totally fine. If they had just defeated Obadiah and carted him off to prison or whatever, okay, cool. Definitely I could see them going into his backstory more. But, you know, because then you've got something to build on when they use him again later. But since he was just a throwaway villain just to, you know, set up who Iron Man is and also leave him free to be doing other things rather than continuing to fight Obadiah. So they just killed him right off, which is fine, you know, for their purposes. So I don't see him really caring to go into his backstory if they're just going to chop his head off at the end of the first film. Which is not literally what happened, but...
Nick, what would you rate it?
I would say a 5. I mean, it's a really good jumping off point because it's, you know, a lot of shows how you start a new show and a lot of them are it's kind of slow in this first couple seasons, but then it picks up. Like this didn't really have, like, it wasn't a lull movie, and then it, like, the universe just didn't get better. Like, it did get better from there, but it wasn't like clear down here. It was like it started off with a really good
started with a bang,
and it went up from there. So it was a really good starting movie, and I would say 5 out of 5 for me.
Babe? Oh, go ahead.
I would rate it a certified Frosty.
God damn it.
The glass reflections.
Deep cut.
That's weird.
I would definitely rate it a 5. I mean, just how much faith they put in the fans with that movie.
Absolutely.
The fact that it's the fucking benchmark. I mean, that's the bar. You know, and they just nailed it right out the gate.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, definitely a 5 out of 5.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It's very Ben Shapiro of you.
Yeah, definitely.
5.
Nick Mullen has a joke like that. He's like, oh yeah, definitely.
There's a really funny. Do you guys ever watch like the Flork of Cows comics?
No.
They're like they're pretty funny, but they're just like really crudely drawn comics, and one of them is this guy like talking to Batman. He's like, Batman, the one complaint I have about you is that you don't eat pussy. And Batman's just like, so? And then he pauses and goes, what does that have to do with me crime fighting?
That's right, he doesn't eat pussy, huh? That's funny.
Well, that's going to do it for our Iron Man episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, you can follow us on social media.
On Facebook at The Nerd Corporation, a podcast.
On Twitter and Instagram at Nerdcore Podcast.
Or you can shoot us an email at nerdcorepodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search The Nerd Corporation and look out for our green NC logo.
And if you want to hear a really subtle but really loud puppy fart, Subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/nerdcourtpodcast. Several tiers of loot to have access to, from stickers and shirts to extra episodes and bonus content. We'd like to thank our Nerd Corporate backers, Glenn the Simp and Fillmore McLaurin, and our Nerd Financial investors, Kim Nichols and Dallin Gilbert.
Thank you, Dallin. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Fillmore.
We love you guys. If you can't...
I don't.
You don't.
Damn.
Got it.
You fucking got their
I
asses,
tolerate you
dude.
guys.
Yeah. If you can't make a monthly contribution, consider supporting us on PayPal. PayPal.me/nerdcourtpodcast. We wanted the best loot, give you the best giveaways, and have the best equipment, and that is the best way to do it. So for the Nerd Corporation, my name is Eddie Lyon.
I'm Cole Simper.
I'm Derek Reese.
And I'm Obadiah Stain.
And I'm Angela Wooden.
Keep it nerdy, y'all. That pause was everything. It was good.